Welcome to Stampscaping 101. I've been wanting to do more of these reverse ink lifting types of techniques and try them out. I thought I'd do it on the green foil that came out of the jewel-toned recollection pack. Multi color pack, I should say. And those can be found online at Michael's. Go into your local Michael's or whatnot and find it. Or, I don't know, you might be able to find it from other sellers. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm applying the Brilliance Graphite Black. The Brilliance inks dry on this type of surface just fine. They dry in time, I should say, if you let it air dry, but they also dry pretty quickly when you heat set it. You know, we're talking about just a few seconds. That's why I like using it. Now, when people ask me what types of inks work on the foils for me, the StazOn or those types of archival inks work, okay, but you can't apply ink like this and spread it around, you know, when you're working with the StazOn. It would dry it instantly, okay? So this kind of is the best of both worlds. It only dries when you want it to dry. And, you know, just having that time to kind of move it around and manipulate it like that is what we're going after. Okay, now I'm not going necessarily for full coverage right here. I just want it to be, I want it to be a little bit varied, okay? So that I get kind of a nice rich surface that has, you know, texture to it. And like I said, variation in terms of value, that's light and dark, and I guess intensity in some ways. Let me see, I'm going to put this other piece of Post-it note down here so I can have two different ways to turn it. But I don't know. Let's test this one out. I don't know if I've done the ink lifting technique on this foil, this brand of foil. The different foils, they're a little bit different from, you know, foil to foil. It just, I think it depends on the coating on the surface, how much ink is absorbed into the surface. I don't know if any is or not. It might be just kind of absorbing into the coating, I should say, because I do think that some of them are a little bit more sealed than others, okay, just from the feel of it and what I think is the drying time of it. The drying time does seem to be a little bit different from foil to foil, and it would, I guess that would be natural. Like this one right here, this foil is very inexpensive. So I just tend to think that the coating on them is a little bit less than, say, like the chrome coat rainbow holographic or something like that. Or I don't know. I could be imagining it. When I was using the rainbow holographic chrome coat too, I mean the temperature was different. You know, the humidity, relative humidity, and that all kind of plays a part. I wasn't quite aware of just how much it played a part until I was doing a lot of demonstrating out in Arizona at this show. You know, the weather out there is going to be a little more arid, or the relative humidity. And then they had the air conditioning blasting and blasting in this convention center. So that really dried things out very quickly, and my gosh, I had inks drying on me out there in 2 hours maybe, air drying. That might take, you know, 2 days, you know, in Southern California. Okay, so anyways, I guess I did get a pretty good coating on it, but see, I have those edges like that. See, it looks really black like that, but the thing about the foil is you get kind of those variations. You can kind of see some green kind of peeking through there. All right, so I hope this picks up on the camera just fine, but let's give it a try. This is a really fast technique, as you can see. I mean, you know, we're not doing tons of different coloring on here. All right, so I I have my tree stamp. I'm going to do this quote. Color it green with trees. I thought it'd be perfect for this foil here, but one of the things that's really different about this ink lifting technique, instead of applying ink on your stamp, which we do like 99% of the time, right? 99.99% of the time, you remove as much ink. I don't know, I had a kind of a dirty stamp here. I have a lot of pigment ink on it, so the more kind of surface area on your rubber exposed, probably the better the lifting potential. Okay, so I tell you what, I'm going to work my scene around this quote. So I'm going to stamp this one first. Let's see how I can zoom in here. I have a nice clean stamp, and we're going to just stamp it right into that ink, and it should, I'm hoping, pull ink off. Like I said, I haven't worked on this particular brand like this. Alright. Okay, now see that right there? That is really light. So I think I am going to do something different. This is the way you play, play around with things. I'm going to ink that back up. I don't like that. That's not visible enough. So what we'll do is we'll do kind of a different color with this quote stamp here. Okay, but let's try this out. Okay, let's go with some of our imagery. We have a nice bold image, okay? I feel like it has to be fairly bold on this because the green is fairly dark. So it's not like we're going to be lifting this and revealing, like a silver or something like that. That's a little bit lighter in hue or value, okay? So we need to push contrast as much as we can. So going with a kind of a bold stamp like this, we'll be removing enough ink. And let's see how it goes. Okay, see that like that? It has a kind of an interesting look to it, though, doesn't it? But look at that like that without the light. So this is what you're doing it for, though. You're doing it for that reflective aspect of it. Okay, now after you do that, what you want to do, because you've lifted that ink, and the ink's on the stamp here, is you want to remove that ink. I think it removed more ink where I had more exposed rubber, but it's kind of interesting because it kind of tapers down here and it gets a little bit darker. Where there was ink on here, it's not lifting as much. So that actually looks pretty good. Okay, let's go with this one again. Let's move it over here. I'm going a little bit higher for variation. Okay, like that. Let's do it another time. I'll go even lower this time and kind of overlap this tree. Okay. All right, let's take a look here with that. It almost looks like we've applied like a foil to our impressions on black paper, doesn't it? I don't know, this is kind of an easy alternative to that. Let's see, I was going to go with the smaller leafless pine, but let's go with the larger one, I think. Kind of adjusting here, because I don't know what I'm going to see when I do these experiments. So you kind of have to adjust on the fly. Alright. See, this is tack and veal right here. I just kind of I didn't just clean this one, but this one's, I don't know, it's years old. I cleaned it at some point in time, but it is just super sticky. This stuff lasts forever. And it lasts kind of in its strongest incarnation. It's really amazing, whatever this stuff is. Okay, so let's go with this tree. Let's go. I want to go a little bit off center. Okay. Like that. Okay, see that right there? Maybe I can use that smaller one. Okay, I'll go for a smaller one, kind of that represents one uh, more distant. All right, be careful when you pull your stamps off this tack and peel it. It's so tacky. It's almost better to be not quite as tacky, but you know, what can you say? You're not going to say, I wish it was kind of less, lower quality. Okay, so let's go with this one. I'll go in the background about like so. It really is kind of bizarre making these impressions, where you don't have to apply ink to it. It's kind of strange. Okay, so there we go, like that. All right, now I think I'm going to heat set this, and then what we'll do is we'll stamp that quote up here in silver or something like that. I'm not quite sure. We need to do something to it, though. Um, or maybe some silver impressions in here, and then a silver quote. We need to do something to kind of tie things together here. Okay. One thing about the silver, the heat setting, make sure that you have kind of what you want when you heat set this, because after you heat set this, you can't really manipulate the ink as you can now. Okay, so let me see if you can see. I don't know if you'll be able to tell when this dries. I'll try to hold it up at a good angle for you, though. One thing about the foils, they really do buckle like that, especially with these ones right here. Like I said, this one's really inexpensive, which is great. I do love this paper, but it really buckles. But you just have to counter bend it, and eventually, I wouldn't just send out a card like this. I would, I'd mount it on something, and kind of double mat. Okay, so this has a lot of texture to it, this Recollections one. Like I said, this stuff is like, how many is in a pack? 25 sheets, I think, 5 of each color. 5 of 5 colors. And it's like $3.33, I think. It was on sale like a couple weeks ago. On sale for that price. I bought it for $6, but buy one, get one half off, so it's, I don't know, that stuff's always on sale. Okay, so I'm not going to test this in. I'm just going to go for it here. But let's go for a silver. All right, can you see what this looks like? I'm looking at it, and it looks like kind of more like that. All right, but, without any kind of that reflective type of light on it, it's hard to see, so I don't know. I like it like, kind of like that, kind of a little bit in the darkness and whatnot. I think that looks pretty cool. All right, so I have a Starlight Silver. Let's try it in that. I don't know, maybe I should do a test print, but I don't know. This is an experiment, so let's experiment and see how it goes. Things don't always have to be kind of masterpieces, you know. That's what my beginning painting teacher used to say. Well, she didn't say that. She didn't. She'd always say it does. It's not precious. I can always hear her voice. Oh, that looks perfect. That stands out so much better. It'd be kind of interesting if I had a like a StazOn green or something like that, or a Brilliance metallic green, but I don't. Oh my god, that would be perfect. Like a metallic green in here, but in a different hue than the foil. Okay. All right, now that really stands out. That silver. So, what do we do? Let's go in and I think give it a, I don't know, another silver impression of some sort. What? Maybe I'll go with a different color tree. I'll go with a thinner tree, okay, for this one. Um, or do we want to go with the silver here? Boy. Go a little bit off center, maybe? Okay, let's just keep with the same one. A spruce. Oh boy, that is really thick. Okay, let's go. Oops, I almost touched that one. Be careful about that. I'm really trying to go for variation, so I'm really stamping it low this time and off center, because I don't want to stamp right over the top of my ink lifted area, okay? Okay. It's kind of interesting. So, okay. And composing. Trying to figure it out. Okay. Let me see now. You want continuity, but I think the spruce. I have a smaller spruce too, but let's go real low on this one. I mean, I inked up way more than I needed to ink up, but that's fine. Okay, okay, let's go off page a little bit, or a lot. I'm stamping only this little section of it right here. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. All right, there we go. These were a pretty good graphic statement, I think. Like that. Okay. All right, now, all right, the thing that's been going through in my head is after I stamped those trees, I was thinking about doing some little paint pen embellishments, and I was trying to decide in my head if I want to do it in white or in silver, and I think, to me, the obvious choice is silver, so let me grab a silver paint pen. Okay, I have the Artistro. I can never tell which these Artistro paint pens, if one's gray or one's silver. All right, this one's definitely the silver here. All right, this is just a 0.7 millimeter paint pen. See, I can't hear that little thing jiggling around in there, so you have to kind of get it loose, and then you can hear that thing rattling around in here. All right, now I didn't know about these multi-packs of paint pens, but this one has 42 in it, but before I bought that, I bought this right here, silver and gold one, so I figured I'd be using that a lot, but someone told me they have a 42 set, and these ones come in that set, but I don't know, it's no matter. These things seem to last forever, and I don't think I need to worry about these clogging on me. The paint is really quite thin, so whenever you use these, you really have to shake them up. They're water-based, and I think they're just too thin to clog. They design it where the paint is dense enough. It's fairly opaque when you use it, but you really have to shake it up each time. So I think that kind of thinner kind of consistency is what keeps it from clogging, okay? But it's also the thing that creates the separation between the water and the pigment inside when you're not using it. So just be sure and shake it up each time. Yeah, I guess you can manipulate it too, like if you want to have kind of some a thinner ink to make it more translucent or transparent. You can do that too, where it won't give you such a stark, application of that medium. Okay, so adding in some little stars like this into the scene. See that right there? It's already kind of bringing in a little bit of continuity to it just with a few dots like that. It's kind of this texture that, see if you want a larger one, then do that. And I kind of cluster them. You can do your favorite constellation. I need like a silver Stardream paper or something like that. That would be the perfect mat for this. I don't think I have any green paper, but I'll see. All right, so silver and green, I think it made it for a pretty decent combination. And I do like that ink lifting technique on the foils. I always like the look of foils. And this is just, it's a way to have that look without kind of applying the foil, but just revealing the foil. I don't know. I kind of went crazy there with the stars, but I don't know. I think they look pretty cool. You can even have them maybe coming in front of your trees down there. I'm going to do this. Okay. I'm going to put these dots in front of my trees, okay? So that now this kind of becomes this overall texture in front of things representing snowfall. Okay, I don't know. It doesn't really show up on the silver. It's silver on several. Sometimes you can have like a different, I don't know, temperature of silver. It could be a warm silver or neutral, whatever. This one, I don't know. These ones are so similar you can't even see it. So, okay. So, anyways, that's what that looks like. I think that looks kind of interesting. Then you have that real reflective type of. I mean, look at that. That looks really different than that. So you have this real, I don't know, I keep going back to this word, interactive, but it really is because it really gets you to kind of play around with it. Okay, let me see if I can come up with a good mat for this. And here, let me do a quick heat setting on this too. The acrylic pens dry pretty fast. But the silver here, that's the thing that I really need to dry off. All right, now, like I said, I don't know if that's completely dry, but let me see here. Here's some of that black. I think I'm getting a little bit of residue off of it still. Okay, but it's pretty dry to the touch. Okay, that was a big slathering of black on there too. Okay, now one of the things I notice is that when I'm counter bending this, I'm getting some texturing in there, like you would with an aluminum foil or something. Let me see if this. So, okay, the silver is a little bit damp too, but I can kind of work with it. It's not sopping wet, but I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bit of see that those little fissures like that. It's like if you were bending foil, okay, but I don't think that's really kind of a distracting texture to the overall piece. Most people are going to be looking at something at arm's distance about like that, not like this. I don't know, they might because you put in the details. Okay, so let me just find something to mount this on. I have a feeling that the silver is going to be a good one to mount this on. Maybe that's too much. Maybe a silver Stardream or something like that. I'll figure it out. Okay, let me get back with that. Okay, I think I found the perfect inner mat here with the Stardream silver. Okay, you can't really see too much of it here. It's just a tiny little bit, but I often do this little tiny sliver of a border to kind of match the line weight of the text, but especially of these little highlights in here. It's often white because I often highlight and do my little, I don't know, kind of embellishments in white, a white paint pen, but in this case it's silver. So I thought the silver Stardream would be perfect for that, and I had a piece of scrap silver, but I don't know. It's a large piece for that little bit, but that little bit around there is really important. Okay, now I'm kind of lazy, so I just have these pre-folded cards like this, and maybe not the perfect grain for it, but maybe it is. It's flat and lighter. I don't know. My inclination is to go with it darker, but maybe it works. We have so much. The foils are a fairly loud surface, okay, and I think that looks pretty good against there like that. All right, so we're just going to try it out, and if I don't like it, I'm just gonna have to live with it. I usually say you can always redo it, but once I get this stuff laid down, I'm not going to pull that thing off and do another one. I don't have other greens. I do think this would look good on like a copper or something like that, or a brown. It doesn't have to be green. Um, but I don't know. You can go with like a complementary color or tone. Um, it could be of a similar type of iridescence, maybe, or reflective kind of quality. Or you can kind of go the opposite. You can kind of bring things out a little by having something quite different. Okay, I'm going to leave a little bit of more space at the bottom of this. Okay. Just in terms of general framing, you can have things equal, but all right. I have to be careful here because it's not completely dry. See, I'm picking up a little bit of silver by pressing down in some of these areas like that, but overall it's not too bad. It's pretty dry. This will be completely dry if I just let it air dry, for overnight. I don't like to keep heat setting it because it does get that kind of buckling and I have to counter bend it. So, all right, so there we are with the card. I think it looks pretty good like that. I don't know, it's just a different look like that too. And I don't know what you can get that with otherwise by doing that, that ink lifting. I wasn't planning on doing these trees down here, but I think that's really important. It really ended up being kind of a big. Look at that! You can't even see those trees. And then you go like that. It's like a little bonus thing, even though it was the main technique in the piece right there. Um, but see, and here too, see that kind of having that border around there. Um, well, you can really see it up here. I didn't go to the edge purposely, on purpose. So you get that little extra kind of, I don't know, kind of texture around the edge. It's kind of the opposite of what I usually do. I usually go darker on the four corners, but this one I just left it exposed, so you have this kind of inner type of application of black, and then the trees are coming into it. But I think that looks pretty cool like that. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, I don't know. You can probably think of a lot of different applications for this type of technique over time if you really think about it. I don't know. I'll have to think about it myself, but I don't know. It's like invisible types of I don't know, whatever imagery. It's hidden imagery or whatnot. Depending on the lighting that's on it. So let's say, look at that. It's really dark. Oh, look at that. Isn't that fun? So it's like a hologram or something like that. It looks like it's really deep in there, and then it looks different like that too. I don't know. It's all fun stuff. Really reflective materials can kind of reveal, I don't know, different things or different qualities, I should say, um, with the look at how that the word stamp really kind of floats. It's almost three-dimensional over the top of it too. Okay, so anyways, I don't know, what was that? One, two, three stamps and two kinds of ink. Just the brilliance, black and white. Not too bad. Okay, if you like these videos, hope you click the like button. Really helps out the channel. And thanks as always for tuning in to Stampscapes 101. If you have any questions, drop me a note in the comment section. Or if you just like it, want to leave a comment, always appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching.